So today is actually part of my sister's birthday. We spent the morning with a few of Colombo's foremost fashion designers.
I'm always good.
Hey.
Hi.
How are you? I'm Honey.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Oh, this is so pretty. So Marissa from MFACT Design creates garments made exclusively from handloom fabric, which you can see being made, created, designed right here. This is the traditional way of making fabric in Sri Lanka, and it's being preserved through designers like Marissa, who continue to create garments exclusively from handloom fabrics. So it's ancient technology meets modern design. Isn't this amazing? I fell in love with this beautiful jacket that was in her latest collection. If you're looking to find Marissa, her handle is mfactdesign on Instagram. Our next stop was Katie Brown's studio, founded by Kanchana, a stunning studio up in the mountains. A bustling workshop that was just absolute heaven. Her signature style is creating pieces from one piece of fabric with only a single seam. She's showcased all over Southeast Asia, and most of her fabric is imported from India. Kanchana and her work were absolutely fantastic, and the architecture of her studio was something to behold. This is the typical Geoffrey Bower style of architecture that we were seeing, and it incorporates the outdoors and the indoors, the high ceilings and the big open windows allow the flow of air, and the space was just something quite extraordinary.
That's because it was inspired by Rajasthan, so Rajasthan in India.
Oh. Yes, because that's the cricketing in Rajasthan Royals.
I
didn't know this.
Oh.
I can see that, like, you're not cutting, that you just cut once.
Yeah. And then also
incredible. You're not loving
I don't know if I would even be me if I couldn't find something to fall in love with. This brass breastplate is handmade, a couture piece from one of Katie Brown's prior collections, embezzled with semi-precious crystals. I mean, how could I
Yeah.
not? How could I not?
Oh, Lecha, you're missing this.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh?
The tree has remains. Oh, okay. I see this.
It's amazing. Wow.
This is a Cosmo shoot that they were doing.
Where?
Here, it looks like Colombo, right?
Yes, Colombo.
It's in Colombo,
Yeah,
just like.
between.
Yeah. Because it definitely looks like a
Yeah.
rooftop. Colombo's really doing these rooftop buildings, hey? Like they love it.
Behind the scenes,
Behind the
set
scenes.
life. Stunning.
Gorgeous.
Our next stop for the day was the fairly famous Barefoot Columbo flagship store and gallery. Barefoot was founded in 1964 by Barbara Sansoni, who has since retired and handed over operations to her son, world-famous photographer Dominique Sansoni, and it is his daughter, Ashira Sansoni, who currently manages and curates the gallery.
And therefore I can tell why you're taking that picture.
100%. 100%.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. I'm looking at the inside.
This is crocheting done by Sri Lankans. This is a piece of art.
This is a spider.
Yeah. Oh wow, that is.
Yeah, no, I'm a learned guy.
Apparently, he's seeing a black Jesus and he's very famous. And this too. Because Jesus walking on water.
Oh, that one was a
Walking
mess.
on water.
That's a mess.
It's the end of our monsoon, right? This is dry. This is dry, yeah. So May. Yeah, well, hopefully it's not delayed. Yeah. I know. Global warming is really affecting us. Our monsoons are all out of whack. But it's quite incredible what they were able to photograph and what there is here. But no, Barefoot it was started by my grandmother. It's a handloom industry. So back in 1960.
All those fabrics you saw at Marissa's.
She said she only makes for Barefoot.
Yes.
So
Barefoot.
She makes for both. Her mother makes for barefoot. Right?
Yeah.
So Mari, her mother, is one of our senior designers who's been with us since she started with my grandmother back in the 70s. And she still continues on to this day. And so Marissa is her daughter, and Marissa doesn't work for us directly. She buys fabric from us, and she makes collections for our clothing. And her work is stunning. I mean, you've seen it.
Yes, we have. We were talking to her like, yes, her work is amazing.
Yeah. So my grandmother is a designer. She's 91 this year. This month, yeah. She no longer obviously works, but so she started Barefoot because she was approached by the Mother Provincial of the Good Shepherd Convent to design for the cloth that the nuns, girls were weaving in their weaving centers. Because they were weaving cloth, but it wasn't really being sold. And so they got my grandmother to design it. And then it became this very organic relationship where then this cloth was being designed and my grandmother was then also selling it from our family home.
Yeah.
And so back in the 1960s.
Yeah.
And so through the decades, we've slowly grown to what it is today. So we have the shop. But in the 80s, we got the top floor of the shop where, I don't know if you come to the front.
No, okay, back. I think I need to take them.
Yeah, you'll definitely need to take them and show them.
Yes.
So that when she takes you through, you'll see there's a top floor where there's linen, all sort of linen and fabrics are available. We rented that in the early 80s. And then when my memory comes into it in the 90s, when I was a small girl, we didn't have the cafe, we didn't have this gallery. Downstairs where the kitchen is was actually my father's, his dark room. But then we bought the cafe land, then we bought this land, and then we built it all up.
So are you guys only working with Sri Lankan designers and
So the family, I know I'm very fair. The family is Sri Lankan, and no one ever thinks I'm Sri Lankan. No one does.
Nobody ever thinks
Yeah, whenever I get into
well,
it.
I assume because you're talking about your grandmother and your dad that you are Sri Lankan.
Again. No, but even when I talk like that, some people are just like, so when did you guys come here? And I'm just like, we live here, we grew up here. So we work, it's a Sri Lankan industry. We work primarily mostly with Sri Lankans. I think the only internationals, if we have, so I manage the gallery, we have a few foreign artists, international artists who will come and show here, but again, they have to have a connection with Sri Lanka. So for example, this artist over here, Alex Stewart, he's British, but he's been coming to Sri Lanka for 40 years. His nephews are Sri Lankan, and his work often employs Sri Lankan mythology, symbols, etc.
You're like creative royalty.
They are definitely. I'm operations.
Are you her dad?
Yes.
Are you her dad?
You can see she's a... sorry.
That's okay. I think so he's the famous photographer. He's the one who runs this amazing space, which was started off by her amazing grandmother.
His mother.
They're from South Africa.
Oh, lovely. Wonderful.
Thank you
I say wonderful because we have a very close connection with that. Because when my dad died, there's a very, very sweet man who made the great mistake of marrying my mother. And Ronald is academic. And grew up, he's Australian, but grew up in Durban and South Africa.
Oh, wow.
And he's done one of the definitive books or studies there, which is on the Dutch Cape architecture, which is how he met my mum, because he shared interest in architecture.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And
then he moved to
Sri Lanka connection.
Not so much. Yeah, I mean, handloom is a tradition, and it's something that
You modernize and make it practical for daily living, no?
Yeah,
It's not just a decorative thing.
No, certainly
it's
not.
Very
And our products have always been, I mean, my grandmother never
timeless.
liked to, and my grandmother never liked to think of it as a business. For her, Barefoot should be an amazing sample room. Like, everything is unique and individual because it's all handcrafted and handmade and what people are doing. And each item is, an individual. There's no automated, factory line that their components are put together from the yarn that we buy, and then we dye it ourselves at our weaving plants. We have a dye plant, we have a water treatment, so we also treat everything to make sure that the dyes are perfectly safe. So we have to adhere to an EE standard. And because we make children's toys, so if a child is putting a toy in their mouth, you want to be sure that the dye that's being used is not poisonous. So it's perfectly safe for children to up to 3-year-olds and then mouth on the thing because they want to or something. I'm sorry, I got a bit sidetracked. But yeah, so we dye it, we weave it, then that woven cloth either comes directly here as fabric rolls, which I'll show you when you go upstairs to the fabric section. Also we make sarongs, and Barefoot really sort of changed sarongs, or we revolutionized sarongs in Sri Lanka in a way. Because before
it was a fashion. It was from a traditional garment to a fashion garment.
And also, people of the Colombo society, it wasn't, you wouldn't go and answer, if someone came to visit you, a guest came to drop in on you, you wouldn't answer if you heard the doorbell ring. You wouldn't go and, you wouldn't answer in your sarongs.
It's like in your night dress.
Yes, you'd have to go and you had to go put your pants on and go there. But my grandmother started wearing it as a outfit that should be proudly worn at a social function. So let me see if I can find an old picture.
So people went wearing sarongs proudly.
It's more like a
home
wear,
like a night dress.
It's like a night dress. They wouldn't wear it because you remember this was just after we just had got independence.
So you were trying to
so Sri Lanka
get over the colonization.
I mean, I don't think it was thought with those. It wasn't done with those thoughts and intentions, in the sense of those direct thoughts and intentions. But it's like we should be proud of our national dress. We were wearing pants and dresses which were very colonial English style.
Yeah.
I'll show you a picture of my grandmother wearing it.
Barefoot.
Wow, that's amazing. And because your grandmother started wearing the saris proudly.
Sarong.
Sarong.
So Barefoot started making sarongs, and so people started buying sarong, the Barefoot sarong, and then wearing a Barefoot sarong to a party or to a function and things like that. So I mean, nowadays you can see Colombo. We're quite westernized, quite modern. So you're not going to go to most parties you go to. People aren't wearing sarongs, but my friends will still wear sarongs to a house party or things like that. But back in the 60s, you wouldn't have done that.
Because it wasn't the thing to do.
It wasn't the thing to do. It's what she's wearing the sarong and the top. Here we go. That's a better picture.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Yeah. So this was in the 60s.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So this was an opening at the Ceylon Tea Centre in London, UK, in 1966. So Barefoot was about 2 years old then.
Oh wow. Your grandmother really shaped something.
My grandmother's very cool. She's like a national.
Wow.
She's special.
Very revolutionary. Yeah. That's amazing.
After taking in all that history, it was time to shop.
Right.
As you can imagine, after learning about Barbara Sansoni, there is no way I could leave Colombo without a sarong. And this is one of the Barefoot collection silk sarongs. And here the lady was teaching me how to do the typical double knot sarong tie that gives you a beautiful pleat in the front, displaying the pattern of the gorgeous fabric. And then I had a spin on my own. Here we go. I'm making a flower, pleat it, loop it under the double knot at the waist, up and over, up and voila. Thanks for joining your Sangoma on another travel story. Until next time.